More criticism for allowing a group of 59 white South Africans to enter the U.S. as refugees.
As Fox's Mike Emanuel reports, the move is prompting strong criticism from immigration advocates. Emanuel reports the move is prompting strong criticism from immigration advocates.
Let me see the order or something.
As President Trump's immigration crackdown continues,
Welcome to the United States of America.
the administration rolled out the red carpet for 59 white South Africans they call refugees, saying they faced racial discrimination back home.
We're sending a clear message that the United States really rejects the egregious persecution of people on the basis of race in South Africa.
President Trump claims the U.S. had to take in the group because white farmers are being killed in South Africa in what the president calls a genocide. But there's no evidence that's taking place, and some civil rights advocates are now raising questions about the decision to admit only white refugees at a time when the administration has cut off access to others facing war and famine.
Flying white Afrikaners over here to the United States to find refuge where they deny refuge for everybody else from war-torn communities at that. I mean, this is very clear to us.
The White House says this group was strictly vetted and it's just the first of many that will be relocated to the U.S. But it's not clear how many will want to come because white South Africans still retain most of the country's privately held wealth.
The vast majority of South Africans are black people. And the vast majority of South Africans have no rights to land, none.
President Trump says South Africa's leadership is heading to the White House next week to discuss the resettlement plan. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Hello family, welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I am Ongil Zalalem, and today we're talking about white South Africans returning back home in droves from the United States of America. So it turns out it is better to live in South Africa for white South Africans than it is for them to be in the US. That is according to them, by the way. There are a few interviews that we will cover that white South Africans gave, the ones that decided to go back to their home. You can't make this stuff up. I'm smiling because honestly, we saw this coming. The ones that are returning back home are not just, the ones that left recently, but the ones that left South Africa because they said they didn't feel safe or they thought there's like better opportunities in the United States for them. Now they're changing their mind. They're changing their tone. Let me show you a clip. We'll come back and discuss.
White South African expats who had lived for decades in the US are now returning home to South Africa. Many say they prefer the lower cost of living and better lifestyle back home. The move comes despite calls by US President Donald Trump urging white South Africans to leave the country over alleged discrimination, a claim that the South African government denies.
This is like Christmas.
Naomi Sapphire was born in South Africa and lived for 2 decades in the United States. She came back home for a holiday and realized how much she missed this place.
You cannot dictate what makes your heart happy. So you leave and then you come back because ultimately this is home.
Last year, Sapphire left North Carolina for a seaside town in South Africa's Western Cape. Now, she says her 3 children spend more time outdoors, health insurance is affordable, and she prefers the schools. She's among thousands of white South Africans coming back from abroad, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's statements that South Africa's white minority is being persecuted by the country's black majority government.